On that note, let me move on to a panel discussion. We have altogether about 45 minutes, 30 for a panel and 15 for Q&A from the audience. We may not be able to get to all, but we'll definitely get to a few on questions coming in from Facebook and Zoom. I'm delighted to introduce our esteemed panelist, Dr. Pangchung, Director General, Head of Department of Research and External Affairs, Royal University of Bhutan, Ms. Nakdril Hamo, Program Director, Forest and Wildlife, World Wildlife Fund Bhutan, and Mr. Sedrup Dorji, Founder, Youth Advocacy Network Bhutan. So let me start with Dr. Pangchung first. Doctor, this report ought to be a useful resource and toolkit for your students. It's a gold mine for academia. So from your perspective as an educator and researcher, what is RUB doing in climate science research and data for future solution building? Where and what are the opportunities for research work for your students? And where does RUB see itself in the development landscape of people and planet for Bhutan? Over to you, Doctor.
Okay, thank you, Moderator Tinle Chetan, for the questions. I hope that I'm able to do justice to share my thoughts on all questions together. In order to answer what we are doing as the higher education provider to navigate this Anthropocene, I would like to share my views on two components, namely one under curriculum and two under research and development. Well, first of all, we must understand that climate change impacts all of us. In our recent effort in drafting the strategic plan for climate change research roadmap in Bhutan, through the National Adaptation Plan project, we have noted that climate change impacts to every development sectors in Bhutan. Therefore, it is of paramount importance to the university to strengthen our curriculum in all disciplines. In recent years, the curriculum in the university is showing an increased trend in incorporating research module that enhances students' learning. This is a positive indication of quality academics presence that recognizes the importance of research in their teaching learning. More specific to the climate change curriculum initiative, we have launched 3 undergraduate programs in environment in recent years. Environment Science at Sherapsi College, Environment Management at Royal Thimphu College, and Environment and Climate Studies at College of Natural Resources. Many of our existing applied sciences and engineering curriculum has climate science topics well integrated. The university has also introduced a postgraduate degree in natural resources and renewable energy. Very soon, the university will launch a PhD degree in climate studies. All these initiatives are from the curriculum side in building human resource capacity in climate science for our future leaders in Bhutan. Now, let me share what we are doing for the research and development in our university. In general, Bhutanese have realized that we are bearing the brunt of climate change, despite we have done nothing to contribute to imbalance our carbon neutrality state. Not long ago, in October 1994, which is not even a monsoon in Bhutan, we remember that we experienced glacial lake outburst flood, where it devastated our huge properties. In the monitoring and assessment report of the Hindu Kush Himalayan region, it indicates that by year 2100, half of the present glaciers in the Himalayas will be lost. While these figures are quite worrying, it appears that it is a reality. Well, I would like to substantiate my statement from the fact that in Bhutan, at an altitude of 4,300 to 4,500 meters above sea level in one of the glacial lake study sites, there has been consistent rise in temperature from April to June over the past 8 years, with an hourly temperature of 16 degrees centigrade to 17 degrees centigrade. Such an hourly temperature in the high elevation is too warm for the mountains to sustain the existing mountain biodiversity. But coming back to the specific questions of what RUB is doing for the climate science data and what opportunities there for the students to do research, I would like to inform that we have introduced 3-tier systems to promote research culture in the university. First, we encourage colleges to allocate at least 1% of annual budget for research and development. Second, we support research through university-wide research grant on competitive merit-based applications. And thirdly, we apply research grants to external institutions, both within Bhutan and international institutions. However, annual research grant allocated or external grants secure a bare minimum when we compare to the capacity to do research by the university. As a result, promotion of research through dialogues, conferences, publications, and policy briefs are constrained. The other question is how RUB look at the future in development landscape for people. The unprecedented COVID-19 pandemic restriction has definitely given us to rethink and the need to reinforcement of the social norms and values of past, which were so effective in containing diseases in the community. For instance, 50 years ago, I have witnessed similar these movement restrictions imposed when communities recorded contagious diseases either to human or livestock. These movement restrictions were in place despite modern education was limited in those days. This is because our people followed social norms and appreciated the values of imposing restriction. If we have to navigate the Anthropocene of those days, we need to inculcate similar values and follow the social norm of today also. That is why I feel so confident that our youth of today are so dynamic and energetic in understanding the social norms and values of even today. We can also contribute in capacity building of human resources to navigate the Anthropocene. For this, perhaps it is time that we consider investing certain portion of revenue generated by hydropower and tourism sectors to the research and development in Bhutan. This will be an incentive and regulation of the government in supporting research and development. Our youth can then proactively engage in disseminating climate change awareness campaigns if such incentives and regulation is supported. Well, having said that, I can only wish that government agencies in Bhutan integrate research and development as an integral sectoral plan with a dedicated fund, and the services of the university is felt in filling the knowledge gaps. If we have to navigate the Anthropocene of today more effectively and efficiently as per this Human Development Report 2020, the key to success lies on better collaboration and cooperation among all sectors in Bhutan. I hope that our future five-year plan document of Bhutan will allocate certain portion of GDP to research, innovation, and enterprises in order to navigate the Anthropocene of today. I hope that I'm able to respond to the questions posed by the moderator. If there are any questions later, I'll try to address. Thank you for now, and back to moderator.
Thank you, Doctor, and thank you for sharing your insights as well as laying out the program that REB has. I think the biggest capital that any country can have is human capital, and I think what you suggested and the pledges or there's a question for Dr. Pang Chung. It says, beside the need for the royal government to support and promote institutionalization of research and development, how can RUB play a pivotal role in promoting, mainstreaming, and supporting research translating science into field application? Doctor?
Yes. Laszlo, thank you very much for this question. As I mentioned that first of all, the research capacity within the university has tremendously actually enhanced over the past, I think, 5 to 6 years. That is mainly because the human capacity with the quality staff has increased. I can only see that in order to mainstream the research, the university has to closely work with the industries for the knowledge gap that the industry has got, and then participate in generating that knowledge so that in the process of formulation of the sectoral plans and activities by the agencies, they do this kind of formulations on the basis of the evidences that has been done through a systematic studies. And if we can do this kind of things, better coordination and collaboration, I'm of the view that there is nothing impossible in Bhutan. Thank you very much.
Les, thank you, Doctor. The question for Dr. Pangchung, and I see that he's answered it on the Zoom chat, but for the benefit of the larger audience, if I may ask the question again, the question is from Namgi Doji, and he's asking, in terms of empowering people working towards the sustainability of a planet, how is the RUB taking this frontier towards consistently upgrading its resources and taking it to those educated? Doctor?
Lasla, thank you for this question. Actually, I already put the answer. I think the primary responsibility of the university is to produce the quality human for the Bhutanese. And now, if you really look at the Royal Civil Service annual report, you will see that almost 50% of the civil servants has got the minimum undergraduate degree. We can also increasingly see the quality human in the private sectors, in the civil society organization, corporations. I think these are all the driving forces where we can actually look forward for the sustainability of our planet through the application of the knowledge and the wisdom. So this could be my view on taking the sustainability of our planet. Thank you, moderator.
We are in the last minute, and there are a few more questions on the research funds for students for RUB, but I think that's something that Dr. probably spoke during his presentation. And if so, I think if it's the students, please reach out to Doctor. I think you'll be able to get them. But then there's the last question, which says, and last minute, 30 seconds, maybe answer one of the panelists. Over the last few decades, Bhutan has become visibly and in terms of attitude more and more materialistic. Does this need to change? If so, how? Can I have one of the three panelists just give a 30-second view on this? And we would end on that for the Q&A session. Anyone? Okay, Doctor, should I pick on you?
Okay, is that the questions from the anonymous?
Yes, there's no name. It basically, I think, is pointing at how we as Bhutanese society is becoming more consumeristic and more materialistic, and how can we change? Does this need to change? If so, how?
In the absence of the evidences, it is very difficult to say that Bhutanese are going for the materialistic. So as a researcher, this is quite difficult for me that Bhutanese are actually leaning towards that one. But my own observation is that still, I think our Bhutanese youth and adolescents and even the grannies and grandpas, I think we do respect the values and the social norms, and therefore, whatever we are actually asking for, the materials are, I think, of their minimum. So I would say that I think we are still safe as a Bhutanese. Thank you very much.
Lasla, thank you, Doctor. And that's answered like a research. You have no evidence, so you cannot give a complete answer. But that's how that's great. With that, we conclude our Q&A sessions for the panel discussion. I hope everyone's enjoyed it so far and have gotten some insights. And like I said, if no answers, at least we hope we've provoked you to ask more questions to yourselves and to your community. Thank you.